Estás escuchando Hablando con Rose.
Hablando con Rose.
En Radio Core 94, Medellín.
Core 94 Medellin, this is Rose Talk, and we are live. Hey, at the end of the day, I'm still happy that we doing what we doing. We loving what we loving, and we moving how we moving. Medellin, you already know what this is. Rob Rose, Puma, Rose Talk. We in the building. I got some wonderful guests that decided to come back to Medellin, and one lives in Medellin. I think the other brothers is about to probably move to Medellin too. So, you know, that's what happens when you come to Medellin. You visit one time, and next thing you know, you're packing your bags and you're moving your life here. Anyway, so we got Pierre in the building. We got my brother Steve in the building. We got my brother Nemo in the building. We're going to turn up. We're going to go ahead and kick it off with Nemo, let people know who you are. We get the backgrounds, and we're going to get right back into the show and turn it up, man. So, Nemo, tell the people about who you are and what brought you to Medellin.
What's going on, guys? So it's Nemo Profits. Man, what am I not? I feel like entrepreneur, investor, been an entrepreneur for like 9 years now, day trader for 8. And now working on this medical cannabis company out here in Medellin. So just loving it out here, man.
He said the magic word spot, the cannabis. We go dig deep into that. Everybody talking about that right now. That's the move.
Yep.
That's what's up, man. So Steve.
With the NFTs.
And the NFTs. All right. But we're going to let you go on all that. Steve, you got the floor, my brother. Let the people know about you, who you are, and what brought you to Medellin.
Yup, Steve Newland, a.k.a. Chill Capo. I'm a marketing genius. I make people famous for a living. So it kind of makes me a little famous, but you know what I mean? I do my thing, you know, marketing, artist development, relations. I've been in the industry probably about 14 years now. Worked with all the biggest names, you know, the top people in hip hop, you know, R&B, you know, done a lot of tours, been touring the world, all that good shit. Came to Medellin like 3 weeks ago, linked up with you, had a great time, saw a lot of business opportunities here. A lot of people scared to come to Medellin, they scared to come to Colombia, you know, for whatever reasons. America always warns its people not to come here, you know, it's too dangerous, but y'all see me moving out here. I got, you know, probably about $20,000 worth of jewelry on. You know, I go everywhere I please. It's always love. So I love it out here, man. I'm here to set up shop, set up some business plays, and, you know, keep it moving.
Hey, if it's too hot, stay out the kitchen. So everybody who's scared to come, don't come.
Right.
It's only for the real ones.
Right.
The real ones is out here.
No bad vibes.
Right. Pierre, my brother, what's up, man? Let the people know about you, brother, and how you ended up in this beautiful city of Medellin.
Yup. What's good, y'all? It's Pierre, aka Pierre. You know, I'm in Medellin. I've been in the music production game for a minute. Been working with a lot of reggaeton artists. So, I managed a 19-year-old kid out of Colombia living in LA. So with that, getting into the reggaeton music, I got, you know, sucked into the Colombian lifestyle. So about a month ago, we came to Colombia. First time I was out here, you know, on a sleaze mission, but also to kind of see
Word to the sleaze. Shouts to the sleaze.
What the lifestyle was like, and you know, musically, there's a lot of potential out here. There's a lot of talent that's undiscovered, and they just don't know where to go. So that's one of the goals. But another goal that we have is, you know, getting some of these Colombian buns. You know, we come out here and we try to see what we could get, find some new meat, find some fresh meat, and see how we could help everybody get out of what they're doing and get into some new shit.
Talking about that elevation church.
Sir.
Yes, sir. So, hey, let's hop right into it, man. We're just going to go off of this. First off, why are people scared to come to Medellin? It's 2022. It's 2022.
The cartel.
The cartel.
All those Netflix films, all those
Netflix.
Escobar movies, all of that got them shaking in their boots.
So I've never seen any narco film. I got all my information about Pablo Escobar directly from Roberto Escobar himself. So I never saw anything. What is it that it takes place in a 1970, 1980 based film? I guess, right? That's kind of the year.
It's a series.
70,
yeah,
80. Does it go into the 90s?
It's
He died
pretty
in
much
93.
He died in 93.
It's pretty much like 84 to like 93.
84 to 93. And
Yeah.
it's 2022.
Yeah.
And they worried. But I do see a lot of brothers coming out here, man. I see brothers out here from all over the world consistently coming out here.
Well, that's because it just took one of the homies to basically go out there, you know, scout it out basically and be like, yo, it's cool. Like, they ain't tripping, you know what I mean? Like, come through. You know what I mean? Because black people, we come from the hood. We come from the slums. We come from poverty. poverty and
And that's a beauty thing too. And when I'm saying brother, I mean brothers is in brothers, and brothers is in we all men as brothers too. Because I think what you find here, I don't know if like maybe you got to hang out at a place like Gusto's, but what you find here is like everybody's cool. Everybody want to chop it up with you when the vibe makes sense to, say what's up, but everybody be on their own little mission of what they doing. But it's like a full scale ground of mutual respect that just exists in the air. Like I've never seen two extranjeros ever fight. I've never seen an extranjero person fight a Colombian person. I've never seen violence ever really pop off ever in the park and none of that shit. You know what I'm saying?
It's the vibe.
It's the vibe, right?
And I honestly think it's from that era. Like I remember, like I first came to Colombia and Medellin in particular, 2016, and I've always done like a solo travel thing, and like I remember I went on a tour or whatever, and they were telling me like because of all the violence, because of all the things back then, now people are like like we over that, like the violence and all that, like we're trying to keep it chill, we're trying to post up, trying to keep it tranquilo, you know what I'm saying? And I and me being here and that experience is definitely true. Like, I think that even the gringos that come here, the extranjeros, I think they come here and they realize like, yo, like you ain't about to walk around like, like you would in the States, and you just kind of get in line with the vibe. You feel me?
Right. Like, you're not trying to stunt wherever you go, because that's just some ignorant shit. You're just asking for trouble. Everywhere you go, any country you go to, if they catch you alone and they catch you stunting, the streets is going to come at you. But for the most part, I always be telling people, like, they don't want to fuck up their money. So it's really the street thugs that be coming in and doing all the bullshit, because the cartel really, they for the tourists. We're the ones buying their drugs. We're the ones paying their women. So I feel like you got to come to experience it, but if you scared, you scared. That's really all that it's about.
All right, we're gonna run this true or false, and this is a hypothetical true or false. But I believe that on this particular show, I'm surrounded by very well educated brothers. So this is my theory. So true or false? Medellin, 10 years from today, the new age Silicon Valley.
Possibly could be.
False.
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 False. Why false?
Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Tech.
False.
Bogota, I would say maybe.
Okay. Why not Medellin?
I think that we're very behind in terms of infrastructure for that. I think in terms of mindset structure, it's not there culturally. In terms of like, just if I had to break the country or the country down by city, like Bogota is where the modern things are happening. The tech, the business moves are happening. Like, with us doing this cannabis stuff, like I'm trying to find out how I can get crypto into the country. And, Colombia is doing a lot of things on that forefront with crypto, but at the same time, like, it's only happening in Bogota. Here in Medellin, I feel like it's more old money, fincas, farms. You got all the, El Campo, the countryside. So I think it's more old money, more stock, or like land stock type money, that, will eventually more, I don't know what it will grow into, but I definitely don't see tech. Not at all.
Steve, your thoughts?
I mean, there's a lot of potential. I don't know necessarily if technology-wise. I mean, everywhere evolves technology-wise, so Medellin isn't going to be any different. The more money that comes into the city, the more tourism, the more the economy grows and does well. There's always a lane for everything to happen. I haven't been to Bogota or anywhere else yet. I've only been to Medellin so far, but I don't see why things can't evolve here. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be a Silicon Valley like type of situation, but there's always the opportunity. It just takes the right people being in place to kind of build.
I'm trying to think what it would be.
Set it off. I mean, this country's best export is pussy. So as long as the pussy's here, which there's a lot of pussy running around this motherfucker, then everything will work itself out.
So get into the pussy part. So, sex tourism, is it a thing or is not really a thing?
100%.
100%. So what is sex
It's almost
tourism?
annoying at this point.
But what is sex tourism? What is that? We know what it literally can mean, but what does it mean?
Should I answer or you want somebody else?
Go ahead.
So, all right. So sex tourism is, and I actually saw, I'm going to answer clear because I saw this on Twitter recently. So sex tourism is when guys or guys or whoever, really, it could be girls too, I guess, are going to a country specifically because that country's economic status to exploit the sexual like laws, that the looseness of the sexual laws. So like a place like here, you know, or places in Asia, you know, where people are poor, you know, the dollar, their currency isn't as strong, you know what I'm saying? So these countries have legal prostitution. And so, you know, there's people out there, kids out there, girls 17 already selling it, you know, so people come out here to sell, you know, to buy it.
It's just easier here, man. It's a lot easier. It's different too, because they already know that the women out here, you know, they'd rather go with the international. So if you coming out here from the States and you flashing your money, or, you know, they know you can help them out, they're definitely gonna be stuck to you. But, you know, the sex tourism for me is it's a single life. We be telling everybody, like, if you in a relationship or you got a wife, like, Colombia is not the place to come as a couple.
Don't bring
it's not the place to bring sand to the beach.
Unless she like to play too.
Right. And even then, she's still gonna get jealous, because chances are you gonna pull a bitch better than the one you came here with.
That
so
is so possible.
What exactly are you bringing it here for? You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's no point at all.
It's really why we came. When we came out here the first time, it was like shooting fish in a barrel. So when I went back, I was like, fuck this U.S. pussy, I'm going back to Colombia.
So let's dive into that. And Steve, I gotta have you answer this first. Because I see you on Instagram. I see you doing your thing. You be making the movies go down. But I also just saw a post. There was a girl that was in one of your posts. And I looked at her, and then I went to some other people's shit, and I was looking around, and I'm just like, is there a big quality difference, is the question, of women, Medellin specifically versus, we could say Vegas, or we could just say America. I don't know how we want to keep it, but is there a big quality difference, in your opinion?
Living in Vegas is lit because we get the baddest looking women. You know, bad meaning good. Like, you know, we get the baddest looking bitches in the world that come to Las Vegas every day. Literally, there's thousands of them. I've met bitches from Dubai, France, Colombia, Japan, China. Like, it doesn't matter. You meet people from all over the world. And
they come to not give a fuck.
Yeah, we kind of have maybe the greatest melting pot of pussy in the world in Vegas. So it's kind of like a cheat code in that aspect, because we are the party capital of the world. Everyone that's rich comes to Las Vegas to party. So it's excluding Las Vegas, I would say that Medellin or Colombia in general probably has the best overall collection of women, and not even just the sex workers. Like, the girl that picked us up that drove our taxi was like a solid 8, you know what I'm saying? Like, she was bad as fuck, and I just couldn't understand like how she's a taxi driver in Colombia, like, because I'm like, bitch, you can make, you know, $20,000-$30,000 US a month stripping or hoeing or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Why are you driving a taxi for $10 a day? But, you know, it is what it is. But Colombia has the most beautiful women, for sure. They definitely are up there. Every time there's a Miss Universe or some type of pageant, Colombia is always in the top 3, if not the winner. So that's not a coincidence. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of bad bitches out here, and I'm trying to touch them all.
You want to say something about
footnote
that?
there.
Ah, man, I love Colombian women.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The difference is here, you know, they get their bodies done, and they get it done right. You go over to the States and you see the way these girls are going over and trying to mimic the way it's, you know, these girls look out here. It's not the same. A Colombian in Miami is not the same as a Colombian in Colombia. You know what I'm saying? Is different work being done. Culturally, they're different. You know, over here, like, we bring a hoe over to she was cleaning the kitchen yesterday.
So let's go into that. So
You know what I mean?
when we looking at the body, we looking at this naked body of this Paisa woman, for instance, that got her shit done here in Medellin, versus, I don't know, a chicken, let's say Atlanta, right? So what's the difference? What is the flaws, the main flaws?
I think here people, you know, the the doctors that be or the surgeons that be doing the work, like they be doing it like day in day out. So they're you know, their craft is a lot better. Like you look at some of these asses and you're like, damn, it's perfectly shaped. You look at asses in LA and it look like they got 2 pots in their ass.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's a lot of botched
It's
spots.
botched as
How
fuck.
does that happen though?
It's
Because you're in LA. There's more. You talking more money. It should be more professional people. that
But
know
think
how
of it this
They
way: the
gotta
doctors
spend
over
more to
there
get
don't
that
really
going.
do that too often. Yeah, they do the lipos, but they don't do body contouring. The fat transfers in the States only came about in the States because people were coming out here and getting them done for
Right.
less,
They
right?
try to hop in the money.
Plus,
Right.
over here, they're gonna do a better job at it because to them, that's their money. You know
They do it, like you said, all the time.
yeah, that's why people fly out here even to get their teeth done. You know, for 5 racks, you could get your whole mouth done. In the States, it's 20,000-30,000.
Right.
And can I add to that? Like, I think it's more of a cultural thing here too. You know, like they're getting their bodies done for their quinceañeras. You know what I'm saying? At 15 years old, 16 years old, they're getting shaped up already. So, you know, I think with it being cultural here, I think that obviously plays a role in what it should look like. You know what I'm saying? And then, like you said, they're doing it way more often here.
But man, I would hate to be a Colombian father of a fine Colombian female.
I literally was
watching
just
my
saying,
daughter get ready to go out at night.
I hit some good weed last night. I was at the last strip club in Central, and I found myself at a table full of women talking about the same thing as a father. I was like, yo, this shit I could never have happen with my child.
Hell no.
Yeah, if
you
I
have
had
a baby out here,
if
bro,
I had a
you gotta
daughter in
lock her the
Colombia,
fuck
if I had a
up.
daughter in Colombia, she's getting exported to
Yeah,
America.
they know
like,
where
and
you
I-
hoeing. I'm gonna make sure
Right.
I'm make sure your life is set so you don't gotta suck dick for money ever.
Never.
Ain't no way I'm sitting at home watching my daughter get ready to go out, give me a kiss on the cheek and say, "Don't wait up for me, Dad." Knowing that she gonna come home the next morning with like $600 in her pocket, and that's what's keeping the family. Nah.
But see, now let's
that's
go on.
wild.
Let's go on to that element. Now, when you have a girl who's been raised by her mother, the father's not present, and the mother has a relationship with her mom, which is a grandma, but granddad's not there as well, and everybody needs money, and they know that this girl is literally gonna hit in Jairus or wherever to go sell her body, and their energy is, yeah, we need that money. How can a culture elevate beyond that if that's the norm?
Well, it's not taboo here. You know what I'm saying? That is the norm. Like you said, the girls be going out. Every club you go to, that's what it is. I mean, they know what time it is. The easiest way to make money. Even if they have a father present or a father figure present, it don't mean that father figure got a top paying job. Father could not be finding work nowhere. So if their dads ain't finding work and you the daughter and your mom's ugly and you the hot one, your mom ain't gonna go sell the pussy. They gonna send you out.
And keep in mind, some of them have full-time jobs and still don't get paid shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
shit.
I bet the pay.
So it's about changing the economical
So
situation.
the way you change the economical situation is like this. I'm gonna tell you right now, all these girls are used to hoeing out here. They're used to going out $50-$60 an hour, $200-$300 a night. Cool, that's great, but you got to go out constantly. You got to meet different people. You got to do a whole bunch of different things. And what fucking sucks about it is they don't know how to get out of that because that's all they know. So if you bring new businesses their way, for instance, OnlyFans, you could take 80% of these bitches off of the streets by providing a place to come in and produce their OnlyFans content, teach them how to produce it, put a team behind them. Now they're making $20,000-$30,000 a month fucking themselves. They don't got to go out there and look for other dudes. They don't got to go out there, selling themselves and doing all that shit.
Yeah.
You got to bring the new wave into the country, just like, we're bringing in the cannabis, we're bringing in all the new music, you know what I mean? Like even musically, the country's a little behind. Most countries are. But then you got all these Latin artists that are giving Colombia a voice overseas. So bring the U.S. market to Colombia. OnlyFans is a great way to start doing this. And, we've already had talks about this before on the last trip. So that's kind of what me and Steve are here doing is trying to figure out how we can bring that economy over into this country without stepping on no toes.
And something I want to add, am I super loud?
Nah, you good.
Okay. Well, one thing I want to add is just like bringing some of the models, on a personal tip, I want to do something like this. Me being here, longer term, like some of the models from the States, like in the States, we got food stamps, Social Security type programs and shit like that. And to me, it doesn't make sense, like why there aren't enough like mother-child shelters out here. Like you never see women and children on the street in the States ever. Like,
Well, I mean, I've
never
seen
hear about women and children really struggling in the States.
Nah, I definitely do.
not to the degree of what.
Not to, yeah, it's not.
Out
It's
here-
not
out here
this
it's
level,
crazy,
but there's
yeah.
definitely women and children on the streets in Vegas.
I mean, there's 350 million people in the States, so I'm not gonna act like it doesn't happen.
Right.
But I feel like, as a social norm, you don't see that shit. You don't see women and children just sitting on the
No,
corner. You don't really
you
hear
don't
about
see babies laying in the fucking concrete.
And
Well,
then
yeah, that's
also,
'cause
I feel like a lot of
Go ahead.
sorry, like I feel like a lot of women in the States, maybe they're in a position they can't really express to get help, but the help's there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
facts. That's facts.
But also, you know, in terms of children being on the streets, as soon as CPS sees you over there, you know, Child Protective Services, they're gonna come sweep that kid off the streets.
We have a lot of
you know,
government
so
agencies.
We have
to
a lot
prevent
of we have a lot of aid when it comes down to it. We just have so many people in the country that the government aid is never enough, which is why we have, you know, the level of poverty that we do. But also, if you think of it, if you were to put everybody or a third of America and put them in Colombia, you would probably have the same poverty rates because the country's small. It's small. The U.S. is so big and it's made up of so many different parts and so many different rules that you walk around. I mean, you might not see. You go to L.A., you see neighborhoods tents on the sidewalks everywhere, and it don't matter where you're at. You're paying $4,000, $5,000 a month for your apartment to step out to piss and shit on the sidewalks. You know, so here we haven't. You know, you see all the women and children that are begging for whatever, making the bracelets, making their, you know, selling their candies and all that. I mean, that to them, that's work. To them, they don't got daycare to leave their kids at home to come over and do that, you know, so they got to put their kids up. And to them, it's also a level of remorse. Hey, I got my kid, pay me. But again, when it comes down to it, it's little social economics. And you got to have people like us that are going to pioneer certain situations because other people don't know how to do it or are too afraid to do it, you know?
Yeah, I think there has to be a committee in place, and it's all about, you know, we're in a time right now of election, and it's a very, very, very difficult moment for anybody who's actually following the politics of what's about to transpire. It can either go left or it can go right.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of people say, you know, FICO, everybody that really wants the continuation of development for this country and has the best interest for that development meaning more tourism, more schools, more just increasing everything to be even further modern, is FICO.
Absolutely.
And, you know, unfortunately, if Petro does win, there will be a lot of things that change. And that's a scary thing for an extranjero. That's a scary thing for an investor. And I'm personally this week donating money to FICO's campaign because I don't know if he's going to win, but I feel like I'm going to do something instead of just sitting back and watching, because I get to participate in something that I feel indifferent on versus being in America. I don't get involved in any of that personally because my viewpoint is that's not for me to be involved. And if I try to get involved, I'm really not going to see a true result of change by my involvement. I feel here you can literally help create change. And I think that it's important.
Or don't come here, I think.
Or, I mean,
don't come here. That's my personal opinion.
Again, it's a scenario of just you as a person. Everybody comes here for the party and the pussy the first time. And I partied and fucked and did all kind of crazy shit for my first 8 months. Went ape shit.
Right.
You know, but that was years ago. So being here now, I feel like a citizen. I pay taxes like a citizen, but I'm not a citizen. And I feel that plays back into the depths of the investments too. If you're going to come to a place and put your energy, put your resources, the government should support that and not be on no bullshit about all these different things and times and years. Fuck all that. If I'm coming here and I'm living here and I'm paying taxes here and I'm being more involved in the community than people who are actually citizens here, then I should get my citizenship off rip. It shouldn't be about marrying no bitch, having no baby, but fuck all that. If I'm dedicated to the place got to show me the same love I'm trying to show the place. And I believe that with someone like FICO, it's a possibility that a committee could be created that could support extranjeros. Because right now, there is no extranjero support. Go to the motherfucking bank. Don't nobody in no bank out here speak English. Nobody. the motherfucking bank has an app that don't even have the option to switch the shit to English. In America, Japan, and so many other places, there's multiple language options. So it's not that the people don't care. It's there's nobody enforcing that it needs to exist.
Yeah.
And
No sense of
that's-
urgency.
yeah, no sense of urgency. But
That's a lot of
but there
Colombia.
is, because when you look at what you was just saying, Pierre, about what you were saying as well, see the investing. How you not catering toward the investors? English is the number one spoken language in the world. So therefore, every roadway, every signage of anything everywhere should have English.
Right.
And you should employ, and this goes back down to the employment. If a Colombian man or woman speaks English, A, they should be making way more money.
Yep.
And B, they're necessary. There should be no company, period, that doesn't have an English-speaking person that works there. It doesn't make sense. You'll take my money, but you won't be able to communicate with me. If that's the case, don't take my money. If we can't talk, because now we're talking about my money. If I'm not clear on my transactions, my bank statements, if I want to go in depth and build a real strong relationship with the bank, but we can't communicate, and I got to bring another party in. Now somebody can say, well, motherfucker, you in a Spanish-speaking country, speak Spanish. Hey, that's true. But I also grew up in Japan. Okay, now in Japan, and Steve knows, and we're going to get into this because it's crazy. At the end of the day, I want to give a shout out to all the people who really network. I ain't talking about the bullshit network. I'm saying network to a point of where we got friends that we don't even know as friends. Check this out, just so you know. You know Jennifer Hornbrook.
Yeah, it's fan.
Yeah, nigga, that's one of my ex things back in the day. That, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, that's love that she hit me up and she like, yo, you out there with Steve, this, that, and that. So it's crazy that a part of my past, we talking when I'm 17 years old, you know what I'm saying? I'm 38 now. We talking about I'm 17, can come right back to my present based upon me keeping a good reputation. Can't nobody say bad shit about me whatsoever. And me always still being the same motherfucker that I've been since then.
Right.
And I think it's a shout out to all the people who really network, genuinely network, not network with ulterior motive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's that fuck shit when you do, I think.
Right.
If you gonna meet somebody already knowing how you want to play the game with them or whatever, I think you a weirdo nigga.
Yeah.
And you not going with no vibe, because God is the vibe that's gonna lead you into whatever it is that it's gonna be.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? But to say this, I can't believe that I'm sitting here with someone who has touched the ground that I grew up in, and that's Japan Yokosuka. And brother, I've said it so many times, I think people maybe want to hear from somebody else, but I believe by growing up and living in Japan, it makes you an entrepreneur. It gives you every drive, every motivating factor. It shows you the world as it is and as it could be.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, insight. Yoko Loco, Japan. Steve, talk to him, bro.
Yeah. So I ended up in Yokosuka. I was in the Air Force at one point in time myself. Got out the military and then was able to get a job as a contractor working for the Navy. I was doing IT computer shit at that time. Got a job in Yokosuka. 2007 I moved out there. October 2007 I moved out there. And at first it was kind of weird adjusting to it because Japan is, like I tell people, I'm like, Japan is the Matrix. Like,
It's the Matrix like a motherfucker.
it's the Matrix, literally. Like it feels weird, it looks weird, it smells weird, everything is
It's the future. It's the real future.
Yeah. So it's like I had to get used to that, you know, and find my place in that environment. You know what I'm saying? Because once you go on base, you're in America. But as soon as you come off that
Get
base,
off the motherfucking base. You
out here. You really out here, and you know what I mean? It's different. It's definitely different. And you know, I was there for a couple of years, 2007 to 2010. I was doing promotions back then, working with Positive Productions and Morris.
Mo,
Yeah, Broderick.
Yeah, man. I don't know if did you know Daniel Brooks? I think he might have moved to Osaka probably by the time you were there.
Yeah, the name sounds familiar.
Yeah, he had Tone One Productions. I worked with him doing Soul for Real. We brought Soul for Real out, a bunch of artists, and that's another cool thing about Japan. I believe, and I can't literally state this because I don't factually know, but I feel like I went to Japan in 1985, and I lived there until 2000, I believe, 2001. So I believe that Japan may have been one of the first places that brothers became promoters internationally, bringing in artists and being able to perform. Even if you were a mediocre performer, being able to perform and getting paid for it.
Right.
I was signed to modeling agencies when I was young, and I mean the money I was making was ridiculous because it was like if you were a brother, if you were a black dude,
Right.
you can do everything.
Right. They need the demand for foreigners, and the affiliation with different brands because they're such an isolated society. You know, it's an island literally in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. So they don't have diversity.
That said they could close themselves to the world
Right.
and did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think it's important to understand that when we talking about Japan, we are literally talking about the future. Half the things that I've seen that have come out over the last 15 years, I've been seeing that shit damn near,
Right.
I don't know how long ago.
Right.
You know what I'm
Japan
saying?
had it way back.
Man, what? Going to the mall in Japan, going to play video games, doing all, man, you was doing doper shit, and then you go to America, and you're like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah, Japan's biggest flex is their infrastructure and their transportation.
Transportation
Like
super
the
lit.
transportation, like literally you can get from anywhere to anywhere in the country and it's on time. It's always on time. If the train is going to be there at 8:05, it's going to be there at 8:05.
Yeah.
Unless somebody jumped in front of the train and caused you know what I mean? Like that was the first thing that really stood out to me about Japan is the efficiency of how they move mass amounts of people. There's literally thousands of people that can cross the street all within 60 seconds and everyone is, you know what I'm saying?
I think Japan sleeps for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
I think there's only about 2 hours of a quick nap, and then it's like right back to business.
they run their people into the ground, man, for real.
Are they healthy?
They pretty healthy.
Yeah, the average life,
They be in the hundreds.
Yeah, the average life expectancy for Japan has to be at least in the 90s.
92,
Right.
probably
Right.
92, 93.
Like they're literally in a crisis, right? They're in a population crisis right now. The government just had to implement like a law for them to be able to take more time off work because people aren't having enough sex and they're not having enough children. So people aren't dying fast enough and they're not having enough children
But
to
then
like
the thing
replace
about the sex with Japan, it gets a little weird because see, Japan also, you know, is the fetish fucking kingdom.
Fucking all the blurry videos.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The blurry videos. And I ain't gonna lie to you. Now, you know, if somebody did this out here, it may work. But, you know, just doing the underwear shit and the little ball shit, you know what I mean? The pre-worn underwear weird shit. That shit makes so much motherfucking money.
Yeah.
So just a fetish game. But Japan is so cool because they keep that shit so low key.
Yeah.
It's this bullshit.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
if you know,
underworld,
you know. It's
right.
underworld, but
It's
it's clean.
underworld
It's
as
like
fuck.
the most corporate underworld shit ever.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you know, you know, and if you don't know, nigga, you just don't know. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
So I feel like here in Medellin is so much talk about the mafia and the cartel, there, blah, blah, blah. You don't see that though in front of your face. It's not in front of your face. I feel like if you go looking for it, you'll find it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that goes back to what you were saying. At the end of the day, like Pierre said, if you out here flexing, then, you know, things happen if you dangling a steak in front of a hungry man.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
And I believe that everybody sitting at this table has a brand. But I believe that everybody sitting at this table is a real influencer. And I think that what we also have to do in a country like this, we have to regulate that fucking word. Because I see so many people that say that they're influencers here, and I don't know what they're influencing. Especially these models, though.
Man.
Like a girl taking pictures on the internet, getting likes and shit, who does nothing with that power is not doing shit. And I feel like if you have that much influence over people, there are so many, going back to these organizations that we talking about with women and children, there are so many things that you as a community of these influencers, these models, could be doing to help the actual community here. So what is the true definition of an influence?
Moving the needle. What are you doing with your platform? It don't matter if you got 10,000 followers or 1 million followers. You know, if you ain't doing nothing with the millions of followers except for taking pictures, generating likes, and feeding your ego, you're not an influencer. You are a celebrity of sorts. So ultimately, I feel like a lot of these people that come in and want to be influencers just because they got 100,000 followers, like what amount of followers really constitutes you being an influencer? What did you do with it? For instance, I'll put it to you this way: influential people to me from back in the day, you had, Time Magazine's 50 most influential people in the world because they move a needle. They're entrepreneurs, they're philanthropists, they're actors that are doing something with the world. Nowadays, everybody thinks that being an influencer is just having a fan base or having followers. Yes, but what are you doing with those followers? What are they buying? What are they aiding? Or are they helping?
Yeah, I think it's the effect that you're having on people. So like you could have 15K, 20K followers, but like if you're out here, like that's how much I'm gonna use myself as an example. Like I feel I'm an influencer because like I really put my mistakes out there for my followers to learn from my mistakes. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm not afraid to like live my truth online, the good and the bad of it, and I put the lesson out there on what I learned from it. And whether it be indirectly or directly or indirectly, I feel I have the messages of people saying like, yo, if it wasn't for you putting that message out or you putting out that product or you putting out whatever you did, this wouldn't have happened in my life. So to me, like that's influence. If you just got followers and you shaking your ass online, yeah, it might make you laugh or it might make you smile for the moment, which I guess you could call that influence. But to me, I don't think that's
influence is really, like Capo and I, we're not celebrities to the world, but we're celebrities in our own network because of the fact that we're out there and we make changes. With my following musically, if I put music out or if I talk about music or promote music, people are going to take that heavily. My words got weight in the music industry. Same with the NFT space. If I've gained 10,000 followers in the last month and a half just off of promoting NFTs, and I've made a lot of money for other people because I've influenced them to purchase these NFTs and make moves. So even then, I would say I have more influence than a lot more people than are in my network. But what we've done, Capo and I, is we've managed to corral our network into knowing that if they need anything social media, if they need anything marketing, if they need anything music related, travel related, now, everybody's calling us trying to figure out how they can get to Colombia. What's it like? Where we going? How we doing?
I've answered more Colombia questions in the last 3 weeks than I've never talked about Colombia
What's
in my life.
some of the examples of the questions?
Well, the first and most obvious is it safe?
Right.
Like, do I got to worry about this? Do I got to worry about that? Am I going to get kidnapped? Blah, 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 that type shit. And then the second thing is the women, the women, the men want to know about the women. How does it work? What's going on? Because they look at our social media and they like, yo, y'all got a bad bitch every night. Like, y'all got a new bitch every night. And I'm like, it's cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've been getting pussy for free my whole life. So like, the concept of paying for pussy is like, it doesn't make sense. Right. But in this system that's in place
here, out here, you got to plant a seed.
Right.
He said something earlier today. He was like, yeah, we don't pay for pussy back home. We ain't never paid for pussy back home. We don't fuck some of the, baddest of the bed. But here you get to, like, you're paying for exactly what you want.
Right. That's the thing.
You are paying exactly for
that. Like,
you in the mall shopping.
Exactly. I want that specific shoe.
You want the Louis. You want the Versace. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is.
You don't have it at this location? Cool. Let me go to the other location.
Right.
It's a new crazy analogy.
Let me go to Ayers. Let me go to Gusto's. Yeah. Let me switch it up. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. That's the thing that is really the difference. It's just that you get what you want. In the States, like, I get what I want most of the time, but it's not this is 100%. This is 100% success rate.
And there's no work put into it.
And there's no
text them.
Right.
You gotta set it up.
Right.
Maybe gotta
I was saying this earlier. Like in Atlanta, your pull up game gotta match your talk game.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And when I was in Atlanta, I'm Maserati, black on black, cool shit, all that. But I'm like, I think the universe, I no longer have to even be in that world because you do that to represent you as a person, your brand, your image, where you live, all these things matter. Because if you're trying
That's
to
a
have
social standard.
it's a social standard. So if you're trying to have a business conversation, you may be super dope at what you do, but you got the little Cadillac from goddamn whatever year in the back.
And they ain't
what I'm
paying
saying?
you no mind.
No, you ain't in the VIP. You didn't do the valet. Then you're not making no sense. So I think we do that. I think we do that for 3 reasons in North America. Well, not only in North America, in Europe and other places people do it too. It's for you. It got to be for you first, or else you flexing on your whole shit. So you got to pick what you like, what matters to you. But it's also for business, and then it's obviously for the bitches.
Yeah.
And I feel like the bigger portion of that, especially like with all these remote jobs and different shit you can do now, it's about the bitches. So here, cars don't matter. Clothes actually don't matter. Where the fuck you live don't matter. Either you pay them or you just got a good vibe and energy. That
I think it's
fuck
who
with.
you know matters here.
It is.
Being here for 3 years, that's what I say.
Who knows you? I think.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think it's who knows you, because there are so many people that have said things. Oh yeah, I know, right? And I have no fucking clue who they are. But one thing I've learned in being in the realm of the music business, man, you always just show love regardless. If somebody reach out and showing you energy, even if you don't remember who the fuck that person is,
Right.
man, show that motherfucker love and turn the fuck up, because at least they acknowledge you.
Right.
So there's something that was about your light and your energy that fed them, niggas. So
Right.
feed that shit back.
Right.
I'll let them support whatever. So
Right.
I'm gonna get into this. What the fuck happened to Polestar? Because these motherfucking artists these days be coming out they ass with these motherfucking prices for shows. And I'm trying to figure out who the fuck is dictating an artist price for a show. And I'm not even really talking about America at the moment. I'm actually talking about Latin America. But how do you deal with that? And how do you deal with artists who are so-called influencers because they either have a blue check or they have a lot of people? But Polestar, you guys remember Polestars? So Polestar, and I've been in this business a very long time. Polestar is where, okay, Steve, you had a show. You did your show at fucking, I don't know, some arena. Ticketmaster did the tickets. So what happens is it's registered to Polestar. So if I'm a promoter looking to book you, I can look at the track record of your last concerts and tours, and I can look at your ticket sales. I can look at everything and dictate, does it make sense, with the price that you're saying that you want to get compensated for doing an actual show. And I feel like people have forgotten the basic math of this shit. You gotta have certain things that make. It's like if a nigga tell you, I got a venue that holds 100 people, and I want you to come perform, but you're an artist that gets paid $30,000-$40,000. That shit ain't gonna make sense.
Right.
Then that artist shouldn't be coming to perform at a 100-person spot. Yeah.
But there should be a standard that's set for that. And I feel like the old school way of doing things has just kind of filtered behind like dinosaur shit, and everybody's just saying doing what the fuck they want to do.
It is.
And that shit's crazy to me.
It is, but also what that comes into back then, you didn't have the social media weight. You didn't have you didn't have an overhead to take care of. So now they got to put all of that into it. All right, cool. So if I'm going to a show, I got to take a stylist. I got to take my manager. I got to take my tour manager. Whoop-de-whoop. All these people got to get paid. Then they got their cameraman. Then they got, they got their little tip outs that they got to do for whoever. But back then, you used to equate your value based off of your ticket sales, how many arenas you could pack, and how much relevancy you had on the media, in mainstream media. So, you have all these major artists that are coming in. Like, you're never going to get a Drake at a 100-person spot unless you pay him $1 million to come do a private show.
Why would you do that?
But, you're definitely going to be able to negotiate prices based off of the size of the venue. So if you're in a venue that's holding 3,000 people and you're selling $50 a ticket, you're already making, $15,000 right there. So your $15,000 is not covering shit. So if you're paying your artist $5,000, then you got $10,000. You got to pay your promoters. You got to cover up the bar at the venue. By the time you're done, you're only left with $2,500 on the bottom of that. So sponsors come in. That's where you got to get all of those. But nowadays, artists want to get out. They'll take less money to be somewhere that they've never been before or that they haven't tapped into. I always tell artists, if you're on Spotify and you're looking at where your plays are coming from, and most of your plays are coming, why would you go to your? I always ask the artists, would you go to the countries that, or to the cities that you have most of your fans in, or would you go to the ones that you're not tapped into too much? And they always say, "Oh, I want to go to the ones that I'm popular in," but you're already popular there. You know you can make it there, so that's got to be your last spot. You got to go to all the countries that they don't know you.
Exactly.
You got to build there. That's when you're going to be able to then come in and maximize the countries that you're big in, because now the people that are there that didn't know you know you. So it's an algorithmic thing, but ultimately people's heads are really blown up because of the fame that they have on social media.
And so even though if those numbers aren't, I don't know. I got my own opinion about
not
Instagram and shit like that.
Yeah, they're not real.
A lot of shit doesn't make fucking sense
Nah,
on Instagram at all. But it's ego, right?
It's mostly ego. Like I said, you're feeding your ego. I got 8 million. Look at Soulja Boy. You got 8 million followers. But, I done paid Soulja Boy last year, or actually in the last 4 months, I done paid Soulja Boy over $100K to promote NFT projects for me, and I got zero ROI from it. Yeah, you have 8 million followers, but those 8 million followers don't give a fuck about nothing that's not Soulja Boy. Unless Soulja Boy says, this is my project and I need you guys to go support me, they're not supporting. And it's the same thing with all these celebrities. But is Soulja Boy worth $25,000 for a story post?
The endorsement game die?
Endorsement game died because there's too many celebrities now because of social media. You remember in the 90s, Pepsi would you have Cindy Crawford rolling up in a Lamborghini Diablo, like, you know what I'm saying? You have Michael Jackson doing Pepsi commercials. You don't got Drake doing no Coca-Cola or Pepsi commercials. You got Megan Thee Stallion doing fucking Burger King, endorsements. Like, there's no major endorsements. Rolex isn't endorsing a Drake. Rolex is endorsing, or Tag Heuer is endorsing a Cara Delevingne, a world-renowned model who the entire world knows. Yeah, they all know Drake too, but Drake does not fit the Rolex brand.
Was the slap wrong?
No.
No.
I think it was. I think it should have happened backstage. It shouldn't have happened front and center in front of camera.
I mean,
I
I
feel
feel
like
like
you're
that
talking
man's
about
gone
Will
through a
Smith.
lot the last year.
Your wife basically told you she don't give a fuck about you, like, and you still standing up for her. At some point, you gotta cut that.
Yeah.
Free will, man.
Yeah.
Free will.
Facts, the double entendre on that. So
I don't knock him.
I'm gonna say this. I would have did it a little different. I would have went up there. I would have got on the microphone and I would have addressed the fact with a question. Did you know that my wife has this particular disease? Live, right there.
Well, everybody knew.
See, that's the thing. It's so-called, oh, he didn't know, blah, 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 blah. So my thing is, once that was said, and if he says, I did not know, now the world knows, even if the world already knew, they know again. And I'm going to ask you to apologize to my wife. And after, I'm going to walk down like the way he did and get back in my seat. And then that speech that he gave would mean everything. And then he goes through the fucking roof. Now I don't know what's going to happen with him. I have no idea what's going to happen with him.
He'll be all right.
He'll be all right?
He'll be all right. Just like rappers, people have short-term memory as long as you keep entertaining them.
I wonder if
you slapping somebody
Not a
at
Will
the fucking
Will Smith
come
is
on, this is his first.
Will Smith is
He's
like
big.
he's too big of an artist to have lost his cool like that. And the way that I look at it, if I'm his PR team and I'm damage control, you apologize.
It's
You
scary.
apologize because you knew you was wrong.
Yeah.
You acted off of emotion.
Yeah.
But you being Will Smith, being that mentally strong of a person that we know you to
No
be,
more animated
you should
cartoons
not have come
for
out.
rap.
First of all, you was laughing until you realized what the joke was about.
She gave you the look.
So if you going over and emotion, you've been through a lot of shit, but also your whole world just saw you act as weaker than you've ever been. Will Smith isn't supposed to be that weak.
That's what I was about to say. Like, he's a legend, and so he can come back from it. But is he in a mental state to come?
I don't think he can come back from it in a sense that you guys think. I think having your being canceled, having certain movies dropped, having your award taken away.
I agree with you.
You know what I'm saying? That's staining. That's literally staining your brand.
There's a room that has multiple doors. And once you get into said room, there's rules that you have to follow with certain things. And to do something like that is like, fuck everything. And when you say fuck everything, you just lost your agent. I would have quit. I would have been like, bro, there's no way we can even fucking work. because everybody's gonna say, "Nigga, you crazy?"
For the next at least 12 months.
He just it'll be a little bit of time. He gotta chill, but he'll 100%, bro. Like people like Kobe Bryant. You know, rest in peace. You know what I mean? Like Kobe Bryant at one point in time was damn near convicted of rape. You know what I'm saying? And celebrated and glorified when he died, and everyone cried and da 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 da. Michael Jackson was accused of molesting children, which is the worst thing you could probably be accused of. But and he still never had
Tiger Woods ain't never played golf the same though.
Well, I mean, yeah, but that's because that's a physical thing. Like he physically just couldn't. He's not performing for a physical reason. Okay. It's not for anything else. You know what I'm saying? My point being, there's celebrities that have done worse. There are bigger celebrities that have done worse that didn't suffer. So trust me, Will Smith will be just fine. He's going to get more shows. He's going to get more movies. He's going to be able to do a lot of shit. He just got to chill. People have very short-term memory, you know what I'm saying? Like, because every time, somebody, a rapper, a musician, anybody commits like such an egregious, whatever the case may be, it just takes time because guess what? Tomorrow, somebody else is going to fuck up.
You got to get them new memes.
Next week,
I think, but bro, like, let me piggyback on that a little bit. I think people have a short-term memory if the celebrity that we're talking about is like, I don't give a fuck about this. Like, okay, the baby, for example, the baby, or the example you just gave, or who'd you say? Kobe.
Yeah.
Kobe was, when he got accused of that, like he still kept winning. You know what I'm saying? He still kept grinding. Like he still kept being Black Mamba. So
Will Smith is gonna still be Will Smith.
I don't know if he's in that place
I'm gonna put it to you guys this
personally.
way. It depends on how and where. If Will Smith smacked Chris Rock at a nightclub, you hear about it on TMZ. It's forgotten a week later. This happened on the biggest award show of the year.
Everybody in the
TV.
world
when he was
watching.
already having a spiraling career and reputation,
and then
it was already
won.
spiraling.
But
last year,
but then he won, so that's added onto it. So people aren't going to forget that easily, and people are not going to forget a Will Smith. They would have forgotten if it happened at a less of a
I think if he would have slapped a white person or a gay person, it would have been a way bigger fallout. But black on black, white people don't care about black on black violence. They oh my god, it's so terrible. Like a black man hitting a black man ain't no news. You know what I'm saying? They don't give a fuck. Black on black, we kill each other every motherfucking day. That shit isn't shocking. You know what I'm saying? So everyone can stop acting like it's such a big, oh my god, like he slapped. No. It was fucked up because he slapped his homie. Like Chris Rock was his homie. Like that's his boy.
I mean,
you know what I'm
your
saying?
girl done fucked August Alsina and you didn't slap no Alsina, but you smacked Chris Rock.
You can't hit the comedian. Yeah,
the memes.
He looks like a sucker. He looks like a sucker in the black community. We like, nigga, you went out like a sucker, bro.
And Jada did quote, what was it after that show? She did her Red Table Talk. She was like, I never wanted to marry Will.
Yeah.
All right,
like,
so hold on though. But you said that he gonna come back.
Yeah.
He gonna make more movies.
Yeah.
He has to come back with like
the hardest motherfucking shit ever.
Yeah, he has to. Otherwise, it's gone.
Yeah, he gonna do it. They
gotta give him a really good movie within the next year.
Which he hasn't had in years. He hasn't had that in years.
He gotta do it.
He hasn't had no real crazy movie in a minute. But
I personally feel he's had a hard time the last 12 months.
It's his wife, man.
At the end of the day, bro, we grown men. And that woman is obviously unhealthy.
That August Alsina situation is what fucked him up most.
But I bet they're in a contract that he can't get out of.
For sure.
It's got to be some prenuptial shit.
Sure.
Like,
it's gotta you can always get out of anything, bro. It just depends on what level.
No, I think he really loves Jada. I think he really wholeheartedly loves Jada, and I think Jada just, she's like most women. She settled for somebody she didn't want to be with because she had to, and
it was early.
And it was early, and Pac, the whole situation with Pac and everything that went on, like you can't. Will's never ever gotten over the fact that Jada has till today been in love with Pac, even though Pac's been dead for 20+ years. So you got to look at it like from a man's perspective. If the woman that you love, the woman of the mother of your children, is publicly fucking telling you like, yo, I didn't love you, I didn't want to marry you, I have love for you because we share a family, but
super unhealthy.
Yeah,
super toxic. Not. So at the end of the day, guys, before we wrap this up, there's one real important thing we have to talk about. That is obviously the whole world is changing and everybody's doing it. Everybody's getting into them.
Crypto.
It's crypto.
NFTs.
It's NFTs, and the whole thing is. And when we go into this, we can start with we can go ahead and start with Nemo because you have the marijuana element.
Yeah.
And I think that that's important that people kind of get an insight on that. But let's keep in mind there are people who have no knowledge of an NFT, the truth of what it actually is, the depth of what it actually does, what it's connected to. So when we go into this, please, for the people who are watching, let's give them some details. Let's give them an idea. Let's break it down a little bit to them. Let them know what you all do in that world as well.
Gotcha. So yeah, like I'm really excited about it actually. So we created the world's first medical cannabis NFT platform. So essentially what an NFT is, like, to simplify it, an NFT, it's like a digital asset. So like we got normal assets, traditional assets. We got real estate, stocks, so on and so forth, businesses. But we haven't had ways to like track that information in like a clean way. It's normally contracts and stuff like that. And then we've got this like digital side where we got followers and all this stuff. So it only makes sense for us to have a digital asset. That makes sense. So like we need to be able to monetize and track our assets online the same way we've been tracking our assets offline with contracts and all that stuff. So essentially with an NFT, you could pretty much tokenize anything. Like you could tokenize, I see people tokenizing mastermind groups and shit. Like that's real value. But like essentially what we're doing, we're tokenizing cannabis plants. Because like when I got into the cannabis game, 2 years ago, like I had made a little bit of money, but I'm not worth $20 million. I don't come from a family that's going to give me $20 million. And, I only have a couple friends that have hit 8 figures. You know what I'm saying? So essentially to get into cannabis, you need to have those kind of numbers. So when I got into it, me being here in Colombia, I'm seeing that the problem wasn't that there wasn't enough cannabis. The problem was there wasn't enough people like me. And at the time, like, I didn't even know what an NFT was. Like, I was still kind of dabbling in the crypto stuff, but like, like I wasn't I didn't know what this stuff was. So essentially we're allowing people to own cannabis plants on our farm because normally they would have to have this $5-10 million to get into it legally, right? Or otherwise they're trapping. You feel me? So we went through the process of getting the licenses, going through the loops and jumps to get licensed so that we can sell legally. And we built a platform online called gentleman'scannabis.com that they can go to our platform and buy these tokenized assets.
Say the name of it one more time.
They can
the platform.
Gentleman's Cannabis with an E, gentleman with an E. And they could go to our site and purchase NFTs, and we'll grow the plant for them, harvest it, and we'll sell it for them, and they get profit back.
Okay,
Nice. Cool.
you got the floor. Yeah, you got the floor.
Yeah, nah.
Real quick, can I open it?
Yeah, pop it, man. Pop the bottle.
that open, man. It's all you. The NFT space isn't really that new, but it's new to the mainstream. NFTs have been around since 2014, 2015. There's projects that have been around since 2017 that saw no light, where 3 months ago they broke $20-30 million in sales because of the trend that's picking up. So myself, I got into the crypto world after I saw a bunch of my friends who used to couch surf through their lives, making millions of dollars, driving all the top cars.
So let's go on to couch surf. What does that mean exactly?
Couch surfing, people that you're new to. For instance, we got this one friend. He was pretty much didn't have anything to his name. Living at his girl's house and driving his girl's car, and now he got a big old crib. He driving. He got a Benz under him, and he making money. And so it really it changed people's lives to the better with these NFTs. If you understand what it is, really, that's to simplify what he he said is NFTs are basically videos, pictures that have value behind them, and you have utilities behind them. If you can't buy a Picasso painting, but then you have another major artist like Banksy selling 10,000 pieces as an NFT, there's 7 billion people in the world. 10,000 pieces is a limited edition piece. So you're going to pay to have that. And the more people that pay, the more, if you sell out 10,000 pieces and the company sold out, guess what? Your value is going up. Demand is higher. So that's where the money comes in. I jumped in and I bought a picture for $800. Next morning it sold for $32,000.
Ain't that some shit?
You know, so I've been doing that since, and I've been trading since. I've probably traded over at least $500,000 in NFTs. I've probably profited over $500,000 in NFTs going back and forth. So my portfolio is very large. I'm actually dropping my project tomorrow, my NFT project, which is called Frat Bears. We have utilities where our owners will be able to be flown out to LA to be in studio, live in studio sessions with me, whether it be with any one of my artists, come and spend the weekend with me, go have fun and party. We also have, giveaways where we're giving them real utilities in life where we teach you about NFTs. So we have a once a month mastermind class that we do where it consists of me and 4 other whales. And a whale in the NFT space is somebody that spends a lot of money on NFTs. So, we try to educate the less fortunate on how they can. You don't need a lot of money to invest in NFTs. You can buy an NFT for $200. If you buy the right NFT, that 200 can turn into 2,000, can turn into 20,000. So a decentralized factor of it is that where NFTs and crypto eliminates the banking system because we have smart contracts. Everything is on a public ledger. If I want to pay you, I'm paying you direct. You could see exactly how much I have in my account, how much I'm paying to you, and
clear.
how much is coming
clear.
out.
Right.
So there's nobody that's going to be able to manipulate or hold yours. But the biggest problem that we're having right now with NFTs is the hackers. These hackers are able to hack through your Apple ID.
Motherfuckers get all their shit taken.
Yeah, so you get your Apple ID broken into. You get, there's all these hacks that people are coming up with on the internet. And the more digital we go, the more we have to worry about these hackers. So me, I'm not worried about a cartel. I'm worried about a hacker coming in and pulling out my $500,000 on my crypto. Because if I lose a $500,000 on crypto, I can't get it back. There's no government agency. There's no policing of it. If it's gone, it's gone. There's no tracing. It's gone. So, that's where crypto's headed. And I think that another thing here, we went to, we took that Escobar tour and we happened to have been, his sister-in-law gave us the tour, Claudia. So I had this idea, they have all these images. They have all this story behind. Why aren't they turning the Escobar story into an NFT? Yeah. If I were to go and take a picture of Roberto or take a picture of Roberto and Pablo and turn it into a 10,000 collection with different colors and different rarities and traits and sell it, do you know how many people in the world will buy Escobars?
Well, they could buy NFT, get exclusive house.
The thing is, it's about how you... It's about how you move. Because him and I were already doing the video game. I had already did the 3D modeling of the whole museum for virtual tours. And this is like in the beginning of COVID. We already made the character of him for video games, all this kind of stuff. But, at the end of the day, lawyers, people who may not see the vision or get the whole concept are influential to the person that you're actually trying to do the business with that stall it.
Lawyers kill deals all the time.
Lawyers can kill it, but if I were to have the opportunity to do an NFT project, I'd fund it myself. All they're going to take is $250,000 to get it up off its feet. And they'll make $4 million to $8 million within 30 days.
In this position, what I was doing, I was funding it. I pay for it, but you still have to have those permits. You know what's so crazy about the Escobar problem? You got El Chapo. And his daughter, who has taken the name and tequila, I think they got a fucking cologne. And it's sad to know that, first off, Roberto or the family doesn't even own PabloEscobar.com. First off, start there.
Wow.
And there was an issue with him and 2 Chainz, where he stepped in with his lawyer, and he was like, "Bro, you know,
in Atlanta,
And I'm the one. This is on video. I'm the one that called DJ Sud and was like, bro, I could actually kill that whole thing. So when Sud talked to Chainz called his lawyer. His lawyer said, ain't nobody worried about that old ass nigga. He can't do shit. Basically, is what he said. And I mean, it's sad because everybody's making money off of your brother and your family name, and you ain't seeing a dollar from it. And I think it's sad, it's disrespectful. When I first came to Medellin, and I don't care if people like what I'm about to say or not, it's irrelevant. I had a bunch of white roses, and I took it to Pablo Escobar's grave, and I asked for permission to do business here. And 2 years from that moment, I was hanging out with his brother, having coffee on Sundays, and just chilling. You know what I'm saying? Roberto Escobar introduced me to Lulo, the fruit drink Lulo. But even that, what did that do for me later? It made me say, you know what? When I go stronger with the Rob Rose brand, I want a rose water. I said, fuck it, I want rose juice. And I want that shit in Whole Foods and all that. But where the fuck do you get the juice? Nigga, the juice is right here. You got so many great products that you can develop and then import, export play. It's amazing what you could do. But I don't believe anymore is an individual movement of anything. Everything is team. Everything is team. Just like how, you've been a great asset to me, bro, in doing the project that we about to launch. It's team. You need somebody here, you need somebody there, you need somebody, you know what I mean, to move it around the right way.
Execution. It take one time. It take one person to do something one time for it to either pick up or drop. And if it fail, somebody else is going to pick up those pieces and that idea and accentuate on it.
And I always say this. I'll put my ideas and my concept out on the block because I feel like this. If somebody can do my idea faster than me, that just means I wasn't fast enough.
Right.
And I ain't got no beef with that. You know what I mean?
But they can do it faster than you, but they won't be able to do it quite like you because it's not theirs.
They ain't got the heart.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's like the Coolio concert. For 3 years, for 3 fucking years, I've been saying if somebody bring Coolio here, that shit gonna be lit. Because I cannot fathom how an artist that's from a total different era, but then I can fathom because Central, downtown, the real Medellin. This shit is 1997 down there. So I can fathom how Gangsta's Paradise can be an iconic record and how people would love a moment to see the man who created that sound. How the fuck am I riding around the Music and Me Nate Dogg for damn near like 6 months, 2 years ago, and next thing I know, the shit's on radio like the record just came out. Everybody music and me. I'm like, God damn, they been dead how long? But there should be some kind of wave connecting to America to say, look at this shit. So that means you don't even have to drop a new record. An old ass record could pop back off. It just depends on the energy of what that record is and the time when it transpires. So to wrap up, this is what I want to do. This is Medellin. This is Core 94. This is Rose Talk. Leave the people with your own individual message of future thought of where Medellin's going, where the world's going, and remind them where you going. And we go ahead and start, Pierre.
One thing I could say is that the world is moving a little faster than most people want it to move. So you got to stay up with the trends and see what you can do to move forward and progress and help the person next to you move forward. It's a pyramid scheme, If you find somebody or you find a team of people that you can move forward, and just like we did coming here to Medellin, we've been working, Capo and I have been together for about 3 years now, working on a whole bunch of stuff, and never in a million years did we think we would end up in Medellin. But we understand that there's an economic demand for economic growth. So we're not going to change the country, but are we going to bring more dollars into the country? Yes, and that in itself. So if we're one group, another group does that, and it multiplies. So come out here and get your feet wet. Don't be scared.
Yeah.
Capo.
Yeah, pretty much. Just piggybacking off what he said, at the end of the day, the world that we live in, everything is crazy. Everything changed when COVID hit. I feel like the whole world just hit a giant reset button. Everybody's way of getting money had to be rethought. Everybody's way of doing business had to change. Technology is the key, you know what I'm saying? And the ignorance of technology is no excuse. Like, if you choose not to be on social media, if you choose not to have a website, if you choose not to try to make your own app, or these different things, the NFT space and crypto and all that stuff, like, the people that want to stay in the past are gonna eventually be totally irrelevant to this new world that we're entering in. And, you know, I just want to be one of the few people that, you know, along with, you know, you and everybody up here, you know, to be a part of that wave of new energy, new ideas, new, you know, because I do have the money to make these things happen. I do have the finances to make ideas come to life. I do have, you know, the marketing, and then I do understand, you know, from living to Japan to Vegas to Italy to all the places that I've been and I've traveled, you know, I like your network is your net worth, you know what I'm saying? So that's the biggest thing ultimately, you know, is just get out here, don't be afraid, you know, and people they're scared to come here for whatever reasons. Like don't let the news or the media or people my mom tried to talk me out of coming here every day. Like she hates the fact that I'm here. My mom's from Panama, you know what I'm saying? My mom's from Cologne. So she was, oh, why are you going to Cologne? Why are you going to Cologne? And I'm just like, Mom, stop watching the news. You know what I mean? Stop watching. You got to tone that out. They're trying to keep us away for a reason. Exactly. You got to look at the motives of why they're telling you not to do this or not to go here or not to do, you know, whatever. And then you get there and then boom, you know, things blow up. Yeah, things blow up for you. Like, damn, why was I scared to come here? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. So yeah, that's my biggest thing. Don't let other people fear you into scare you into, you know, not experiencing and trying new places. And Medellin is the shit, man. And I'm gonna be here a lot. So that's what it is.
Word. So for me, for the future, I'll say, like, if you've been grinding the last few years, like especially since the pandemic hit, but even past that, like, you ain't got nothing to worry about. I think, like, you know, as long as you're willing to adjust and adapt for what's coming, because I do think, like, you know, we are going to have another war soon. I think that'll change things with the currencies around the world. So, but if you're a hustler, I think that you're prepared for those things. Now, Colombia or Medellin, like, I mean, this is home. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love Medellin. I love the vibe here. So, like, if you're trying to come out here, definitely fuck with it. And then for me, I'll say, man, like, definitely look into our cannabis project. You know, like, we're about to launch our token in the upcoming weeks, and then the NFTs drop in this summer, around June or July. And literally, you know, we're the first of our kind to launch medical cannabis NFTs, so it's just going to be a bag for everybody. So I'm expecting a lot of revenue through that. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
So this is Rose Talk. This is Core 94. Hey, all I got to say is I appreciate the universe, and I think all the energies that have been here today. Spot, you been quiet the whole time, man. Spot over there chilling though. I got Spot. You was out last night. You was out. You was up late. You was up. Okay. I appreciate everybody coming through, man. We building. We growing. This is home. I personally believe this is the new age Black Wall Street. I believe that we can really do shit the right way, and we have to hold everybody accountable for every move that's made, because we never want anybody to look at any of us to be the way that you may be portrayed as your particular race or where you're from, whether America, Europe, in a negative light. And I believe this is the chance to keep everything in a positive light and move forward the right way, push things, take our dreams, our hopes, our ambitions, and make them reality. Because here we have every terrain. We have you want to make the dopest music video, you an artist trying to make it pop, nigga, you can get your budget, your $1,500 budget can work here, and you got some bad bitches.
Fact.
So at the end of the day, it fits for everybody. This is Medellin. This is home. This is Core 94 Medellin. This is Rose Talk. We are out.
Estás escuchando Hablando con Rose. En Radio Core 94 Medellín.